It's me, your boy Chris. Welcome to our episode. This is where we are going to cook you, the pit crew, food. We know food at the events suck, so that's where we come in. I'm here to teach you how to cook a delicious steak meal. Today's menu, right, we've got a beautiful marbled 2-inch thick New York strip. We're going to make a vegetable Saccatach side dish that will complement the texture as well as the flavor profile of the steak underneath the Saccatach and steak with a cauliflower puree and a wine reduction sauce, which of course, optional, but not optional. Today with me, I've got these two boys right here doing the episode, doing the thing with me. So if you guys are ready, who's ready to cook? Are you ready, guys?
Yes, chef!
Let's go!
And we're part of it.
Yes, chef.
So the first thing that we're going to do is that we're going to go ahead and start prepping the veggies. So the first thing that I'm going to start with are my miniature bell peppers. Wow. And I've also got a jalapeno. The jalapeno, what this will do is that it's going to create a nice level of heat as well as the natural sweetness of the peppers. So here what we're going to do is that since these are a little miniature, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut off the ends of the peppers. So we're going to go ahead and disregard the ends of these peppers, and we're going to go ahead and de-seed these peppers as well. Now,
in there.
He's got the knife technique.
Which the technique that I'm going to use, the proper way to utilize a knife is, one, you don't want to hold the knife like this. You don't want to hold it and like this or super like this. No, because you're not going to have that much control of the knives. In the kitchen that I worked in with my family, the way that we were taught how to utilize a knife is you want to have these 3 fingers wrapping around the handle. Then with your thumb and index finger holding the blade right behind it. So that way you get maximum control of the blade itself. In order to hold the vegetables stable, I like to call the bear method. You can see it from many other YouTube videos as well, where everything that's not the middle finger, and I'm not unironically flipping you guys off, I'm holding whatever food I'm using, right? So I'm stabilizing it. And with my middle finger, I'm kind of curling it so where my knuckle meets flat with the knife. And when you have the knife flat up to your knuckle here, you're never going to cut your own finger. You're not going to get nicked or anything like that. This is the safest way to cut vegetables, meat, whatever you're cutting. So the way you do it is make sure the knuckle is flat against the knife and just go with a downward motion.
Wow.
And
Incredible.
you get a clean cut like that.
Here, give me that stem. Give me the stem.
Okay.
That's gonna be spicy.
Thank you for showing us.
Trash cans over there.
So now.
Oh,
Jason,
right.
That's crazy.
So
that's crazy.
You split them in half. Okay.
So I split them in half, and this is where I'm going to de-seed all of these peppers, right? Because the seeds are going to get messy, but also they don't add anything towards the dish, right? So here, I'm going to go ahead and just half them. And all these seeds, all you're just really going to do is you're just going to peel them off, right? You're going to kind of scrape them off. And this is going to get really messy in the kitchen here, so make sure you have a garbage can near you or a place to discard all these seeds. But you're just gonna go ahead, core these guys out, do it however that's necessary. I'm just gonna use my hands, which, by the way, please wash your freaking hands. You understand?
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
I felt like that should have been Sub-Zero.
You won't believe how many people don't wash their hands.
Yeah.
Freaking disgusting.
Especially in FRC.
Yeah. Did you guys put on deodorant today?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So right here, we're just going to go ahead and quarter all these, right? And again, I don't like working in a messy kitchen. That is just absolutely futile. I hate the fact that kitchens become messy and makes it hard to work. So what I like to do is go ahead, while I'm prepping or cooking, go ahead and start cleaning. When you clean, you have a much efficient workspace. So you're just gonna go ahead and just clean up your mess real quick. Take all these seeds out of the way, best to your ability, as well as disregard whatever that's not here. Jason,
Right
I'm
onto the
not going to
floor.
witness another catastrophe in front of my eyes. That was disgusting.
I'm hungry.
All right. So here, now what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and dice the peppers for the Saccatach side dish. So what I'm going to do is cut them lengthwise, right?
Succotash.
Saccatach. And right now, we're just going to go ahead and make relatively even,
1/4-inch slices.
yep, lengthwise,
Yeah.
right? And remember the technique that I'm showing you. This is going to prevent you from getting a 13th finger. Now,
Finger.
What is this, Jim Zondag in 2009?
here we're going to have these peppers size of a matchstick. So now we're going to go ahead and cut them the other direction. And this is where we're going to go ahead and dice these peppers so that way they become a relatively bite size as well as uniform. And right here, this is where you get an absolutely exquisite size peppers here, right? So that's exactly the size I want, and that's what we're going to go ahead and do with the rest of these peppers. So make sure you have a nice sharp knife too, because if you have a dull knife, it'd be a bad business.
That's another short. Cooking with Chris sharpens a knife.
Right? So you're going to make sure that you cut them even to your best of your ability. And you don't have to go fast. You can just go ahead, take it nice and slow so that way you don't cut yourself. But
Are we a cooking channel now?
We should do
Beautiful.
food review.
beautiful.
review.
Look at that. Look at that. That's the size of
Right here.
peppers you want to have. So, hey, you guys can have a little bit. You guys can have a little bit.
Breakfast.
All right. And notice the color contrast as well. Notice the colors that's going to be part of this dish, right? You're going to have absolutely beautiful variety of how the presentation is going to look. And oh my god.
The last pepper I used was green and fuzzy. Do you know what kind that was?
That's probably poison.
Was it mold?
Oh.
Oh.
Oops.
Hmm.
Chris, how long have you been cooking?
I've been cooking all my life.
Yeah?
He's
Oh.
like 30 minutes.
Right out the womb. You got 30 minutes.
don't know.
How long's this video been going for?
And what you're gonna get here is
Oh.
Ooh.
the first step
Color.
of the Saccatach, colored but also uniform.
Yeah.
That's what we like.
When do we
Looks
put
good.
that in our eyes?
All right, so now the next thing that we're gonna go ahead and prep is we're gonna go ahead and prep the zucchini. So the zucchini here, what I'm gonna do is that, of course, wash your freaking vegetables. I don't
I
want
thought
to
that was
eat
a
your
cucumber.
bugs.
Me too.
And,
Zucchini.
right, so discard the ends, and what I'm gonna go ahead and do is cut this in half.
Okay, dude.
That was sick.
Dude, I
And
felt that in my
this is a little
fingers.
thick in my book, so
Oh! Oh! Yes, chef.
and then bam, bam. We're just gonna go
Wow.
dice size,
Nice
bite
3/8
size,
sized.
Nice.
3/8 thick.
and it's gonna get a little messy, but that's okay. It's all gonna go in our mouth.
Yes, chef.
All right, and from
No,
here,
that's only you, bud.
we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and set these aside for now, as this will be part of the bigger component of the Saccatach. Right, so this is gonna add a really nice.
That was my
nice
nickname in high
flavor
school.
profile of the side dish.
Ooh, yummy.
So now the next thing that we'll go ahead and do, and this is be the biggest challenge
Ooh.
of the side dish, is the corn. I've got 5 beautiful corn cobs here, and what I'm gonna do is that we're just gonna get the kernels itself going. So the reason why I've got a big dish like this is we're gonna go ahead and collect the corn. So here, first, you kind of generally just want to cut the ends of the corn here, because I'm not gonna go ahead and use these guys. So
Bye, corn.
Bye.
Okay?
Okay.
And now, this will allow it to be level as I'm cutting it. So, trick that I learned from my parents is you're going to take your knife, corn, and your deep dish. This is where you're going to collect the corn, and all you're going to do is you're going to come down with the corn, and
You're gonna
all
what?
the corn
Right on the end.
right on the end here.
Nice. Okay.
And the reason why is all of this is in the plate. If I do it on the board,
Oh no, it went
Oh.
everywhere.
It's going
Corn all over the
everywhere.
place.
you don't like that. You don't want that. So, we're gonna go ahead, grab our cornels back, and we're just gonna go ahead and collect it in the dish here, right?
Yeah.
These guys, we're not wasting profit here.
Oh.
All right, and then
Yeah, we're in debt.
We're-
these buy our shirts.
Buy our Cooking with Chris shirt.
And you can see here all
Buy our
these
pride
cornels, all these corn, all
Cornels.
collected in the bowl and all individualized.
What happens if it gets too slippery in the bowl? I just slip and cut myself.
Well,
What happens if I
Skill issue?
die while cooking?
wear life vests. All right, so we're just gonna go ahead, discard the waste here, and same thing. Cut the end so that way it becomes level to the dish, and then you're just gonna go ahead, bang, 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 right there. Let's do it again. Ready? Bang, 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 bang. We're just gonna go ahead. All of that meaty action here.
Yummy.
All right, and disregard corn.
Bam.
That's
Bam.
how you're going to collect your corn.
Awesome.
All right. Okay. So the next thing that I'm going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and prep the garlic. Now,
I thought
this
that
is-
was an egg.
We're not cooks.
This garlic is probably going to be the most painful part of the entire thing because this is multi-purpose. It's going to be
he's gonna
for
do
the
the
Saccatach. It's
thing.
going to be for the steak. It's going to be for the wine reduction sauce. So the way that you're going to prep a garlic is I like to take the back of my knife, kind of place it on top of the garlic, and just kind of lightly smash so
Yes.
that way the cloves kind of fall out of its center.
You're
there's a lot in there.
You're undressing
Yeah.
the garlic.
Undressing, correct.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I said, clean your station so that way you have a clean workroom. Now, garlic.
Garlic. Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Take the back of your knife, lightly crush
Oh.
the garlic.
Oh.
You don't want it. You don't. You don't want that. You just
No.
want a light tap to break the skin. And when you break the skin, this will allow it to get a full clove.
That would have been nice for you to tell me when I was doing them about an hour ago.
Well-
All by hand.
That's why I'm the cook.
That happened to me in 6th grade.
Right? So one thing that I do the extra mile, I go ahead and take the root off of the garlic clove itself. The reason why, this is root. The root is gonna make the garlic a little bit bitter. You may not notice it, but I just don't like the idea of it.
You just use the sharp side of the knife to clean your hands.
Again, you need experience. But
Oops.
if you're gonna try this recipe, try these preps. Please have supervision under your guidance if you don't know what the heck you're doing.
We're your
What the heck did you
supervision.
just eat?
Huh?
What did you just eat?
Garlic.
Oh, how is it?
Oh.
Spicy?
Yeah.
Chris, what you got going on for us right now?
Right now, I'm cleaning up my workstation. Remember, always clean while you prep/cook. It's very important you do that. Now, when you're working with garlic, your hands are going to smell like garlic for a couple days. And that's, you can try to wash your hands. A trick that I like to do when I have garlic hands is literally just rub on stainless steel.
Ah.
Unironically, that will
Metal shavings.
take away the garlic smell from your hand. Right?
It does not work with Loctite, though.
No.
I attest to that as well. So,
Do not eat Loctite,
We
no
are
matter
gonna
how
go ahead
sweet it is.
and
No.
prep for the next thing.
Don't eat Loctite. What's the next thing, Chris?
Next thing is we're gonna go ahead and work on our shallots here.
Ooh.
Now these shallots,
I thought those were onions.
I thought those were onions,
they're
too.
kind of like baby onions. These two shallots are a little bit milder of flavor, but it adds a nice depth to the dish. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the ends here. Same thing
I
with
could have
an
guessed that.
onion
That's an onion.
of the shallot.
Onions have layers.
You're going to go ahead and take off the first peel, right? Cut the shallot in half, so that way, 2 halves. Boom, boom. Now, to mince and dice the shallot, we're going to go ahead and cut
Oh,
the
I've seen this
shallot
technique.
No way.
lengthwise.
Yeah, he doesn't cut all the way through.
All right, remember the bear technique, the bear claw technique, but
Bear
you're not
claw.
cutting all the way through the onion. You're just making these lines here, and then we're going to go ahead and turn the shallot and then dice them.
Wow. And then they come out in squares already, pre-cut.
If I catch anybody buying pre-cut, pre-diced veggies, Santa is going to give you a harsh coal in your thing, and you have a bad Christmas. I don't want you to have a bad Christmas!
Thing. How does that smell?
Good. I love onions. It smells like McDonald's.
It does smell like McDonald's.
That's,
Rock and roll McDonald's.
all right. So now, again, quarter. You want smaller diced shallots, and you get good consistency, right? Right. And the fun thing about these shallots is that I'm actually going to go ahead and cut the shallots 2 ways, because the shallots are going to be for multi-purpose today. Go ahead and just mince up the bigger chunks. Make sure it's all the same size. And then, bam. Oh my god, guys. Take a look. Take a look. Take a look at that.
Beautiful, chef.
And this is going to be used for a very special part of the ingredient.
Mac and
Minced
cheese.
Slice.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Fantastic!
Where does the root origin of the word minced come from?
I want to know if he's using the word Szechuan or whatever the heck he's saying. What were you saying earlier?
Saccatach.
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 Saccatach? I want to know if he's using that word right.
Saccatach?
Saccatach?
Saccatach. All right. Now, the last part for the Saccatach is the onions. Now,
What is Saccatach?
Saccatach is like a vegetable salad type of. So it's like a coleslaw. It's a coleslaw, but
Oh, okay.
not like, you know, the heavy mayo and all that stuff. No, it's more refined. You slow down the cooking of the vegetables. You mix it with a sort of broth, some seasoning, and
You'll be the judge of that.
So, I've got 2 onions. I've got red onion, sweet onion. I like red onions for more general purposes of its natural flavor. This will obviously become a more sweeter option as well. And I'm going to combine the 2 to get a better flavor profile. So, cut the onions in halves. Get some
Then I
nice-
would like to clarify, I like the white onions.
Nice.
Why are you plugging your nose?
So I don't cry.
Oh, you're a little wimp. Little
No, you're right, yeah.
okay.
Give me some of that.
I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm only going to use a half, just a half today. I'm going to use just half an onion of each variety, and I'm just doing a simple, make sure everything is equal, just dice. That's all. No mince. We're just going to go ahead and dice. Same thing with what we did with the zucchini. We're just going to go ahead and just, oh yeah. And I'm just cubing everything up. Now, have you guys cooked before?
Never.
I made boxed mac and cheese.
Not once.
Oh.
I've never been in a kitchen, actually.
What's the best kitchen you've ever worked out of?
Your parents' restaurant?
Yes, sir.
Yes, chef.
Everybody.
What?
Oh, like,
Yes, chef!
2 onions. Fantastically diced.
Hiya!
Done. Now.
Wow.
All right. So now, remember, clean up your workstation. Clean kitchen is a happy wife. Now,
Huh?
we're going to go ahead, and now the Saccatach is prepped. So now we're going to go ahead and move on to our puree. I've got a cauliflower here, that we're just gonna make it into a more manageable size to work with. So, go ahead and just cut the end root of that cauliflower.
Whoa.
And
Oh.
I'm gonna go ahead. Whoa, snow. Woo, woo. And we'll go ahead and cut it in half. And all I'm just gonna do is just dice them, chop them to smaller bits. This is gonna become a puree. So it's not exactly a sauce, but you will see how that will be transformed in a minute. So,
Oh, Chris, careful. You got some food on your shirt. Your shirt that's available on shop.pitpodcast.com, right along with our new Cooking with Chris merch. And is it still Pride Month? I forgot. Pride shirts are still up year-round, I think. So, yeah. Shop.pitpodcast.com, powered by Royal Shreddery.
When was the first time you were introduced to cauliflower?
I was very young.
And can you explain the impact that had on your life?
Cauliflower, yeah.
Sorry, this is too deep.
He's like, yeah.
We don't have to get into it.
All right. Cleaning the cutting board.
Yes, chef.
He warned
Okay.
you.
All right. Now, here comes the fun part. Now we get to prep the steak. So,
Oh.
I've got a beautiful 2-inch New York strip. It's set to room temperature. Now, the reason why you want to set it to room temperature is because if you cook it straight from the freezer or from the refrigerator, it's not gonna get up to temp in the pan as soon. So, the first thing you want to do, always, and I swear to God, if you don't do this, I will fine you. I will fine you. Get a paper towel, dry off that steak, remove the moisture off of the steak. This is gonna help develop a crust. The crust of the steak, in my opinion, is one of the most important aspects for this dish. All right, you don't want boiled steak, you want a good crisp steak.
Look at the way
So
he grips that. Sorry, continue.
dry off your meat. You want to work it. You want to make it beautiful. You
Dry
want
off your meat.
presentable and more manageable. All right. So meat.
Manageable.
Presentable.
Presentable.
Your meat.
Work it.
Meat.
Understood. Chef!
So now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add salt. And since this is a 2-inch cut, you want to add a liberal amount of salt. Not so much, but you want enough to coat
A liberal amount.
Yeah, a
a
lot.
good amount, a good healthy amount,
I
right?
love it.
As well as some fresh ground black pepper. All right.
So why are you adding this before?
Well, this is to allow the seasoning to really stick into the meat.
Okay.
Right.
Now, you're just a salt and pepper guy, right? That's all you should really need, right?
And my Trinidad garlic powder, and this just adds a nice flavor to the steak, adds another depth, right?
What kind of flavor? Garlic flavor?
garlic flavor? Yeah, it contrasts the the richness of the beef, so and the fat,
Okay.
and you just kind of want to pat this in a little bit, right? And then same thing, other side,
Okay.
salt.
Why did you choose this cut of meat?
I like this cut because it's the most manageable. I think everybody can cook with. Obviously, my favorite is ribeye, but you could use flank. You can use strip. You could use a center cut, or an eye round, chuck. Whatever that is good for your budget will be perfect. All right, and notice the height that I'm seasoning my steak. Almost an inch high. The reason why is so that way you get
No, that's like 4 inches.
That's 8, 6. I mean, good for him.
well. The reason why, because you want the seasoning to be all over the steak and not concentrated in a single section of it.
Yeah.
Right? So
Good for him.
garlic powder.
One more garlic
High.
powder. High.
High of
That's
the
at
steak.
least 10,
And
8
notice
inches.
all the seasoning that's on my board. We're
Yeah.
not going to let that go to waste.
You could do the
So,
sides, aren't you?
Fat cap, unseasoned, just kind of
Nice.
mop up the seasoning.
Genius.
And wow,
Oh my god.
every
Yes, sir.
ounce of this steak is getting covered. Nothing goes to waste. Nothing.
This man has manipulated
And
some
now
meat before.
you've got a perfectly seasoned steak.
Juicy.
That is hot.
So, and now we're gonna go ahead and transition into turning on the stoves, and we'll get flame. So here at the stove, we're gonna go ahead and turn everything on. All right.
Everything?
So everything. All the stoves. We're cooking. If you played the drums before, that's exactly what we're doing. One, bang, 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 bang. Right? So, the stove is going to be turned on. Everything, I'm going to set it to medium high. So, make sure everything is turned on.
It's now a bad time to mention I opened that tank of methane.
So, first thing that I'm going to go ahead and start and do is that I'm going to go ahead and start the cauliflower puree. That's going to take the longest to do, right? So what I'm going to have here is I have a whole thing of milk. What I'm going to go ahead and do is actually, I'm going to go ahead and place a level of olive oil, just a layer.
What percentage milk is it?
That's 2%. It was on sale.
What kind of olive oil?
Aha! It was on sale. So now
Is that olive oil?
that's avocado oil.
Ethical?
Huh?
Is that ethical?
What?
Avocado oil?
What? I'm confused and scared. But we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna put the cauliflower in here and make sure everybody gets to know each other very intensely. And then we're gonna turn up this burner to high, and we're just gonna let this toast. We're just gonna let this get a nice color on them.
What do you think I should do here?
Soften them up a little
Goblins?
bit. And then what we're going to do afterwards
100%
is
goblin.
add the milk. And we want this soft and to a texture that we like. So first, we'll go ahead and get all that fun jazz going. And we're just going to let that go. In the meantime, let's start on our Saccatach. So our Saccatach is going to be for this pan. So get a level of avocado oil.
So when you say a
About
level,
2 tablespoons, roughly. Again, I am notorious for not measuring anything. And if you're an experienced cook enough, you don't really need to measure. You just kind of go based on feel, based on what you think is the appropriate
This is my
amount.
first time. Any tips?
Follow the recipe. Oh man, it smells really.
I think we were told not to do that, actually.
Smells really good, actually.
It does smell good.
So now, we'll go ahead and add our cream, which in this case will be our milk. Just go ahead and make sure that all of the milk covers the cauliflower.
We should put the FMS border on the screen.
All right. Now, at this point, let's
Upper
go ahead
bracket.
and season
Upper
our...
bracket, round 2.
Let's go ahead and season everything. So, pepper. Nice level. Salt. Good amount of salt.
what about final
More,
story gets
more.
high?
And
He
a little bit
does
of
not
garlic
succumb
powder.
to peer pressure.
Now, I like to add a sweetness to the cauliflower. So, there's a touch. There's a touch of paprika. And that adds a nice depth of sweetness to the dish. So make sure everybody knows each other. Everybody know their name and their family. So everybody gets in, and so right now, go ahead and add our corn. We're just gonna listen for that sizzle. We're just listening. We're listening. Hear the corn sing?
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Corn is singing.
That's the
So,
same sound you hear when you walk into the 247
a
shop.
little bit too high of a temp. So I'm gonna go ahead and just turn down the heat a little. And what I'm gonna do is just soften up the corn.
So why did you go with the corn in your Saccatach first?
This is gonna release the sweetness, right? Corn on its own has a natural sweetness to the dish itself. So by adding it first, you're letting all the juices, you're letting all the sweetness come into the pan itself, right? And you're gonna add color to the kernels, which in my book, color equals flavor, all right? And already, you can tell here, some of the kernels kind of getting a little bit of color, a little bit. We're just gonna go ahead Take our time. We're not rushing. Not doing anything. And we're just gonna give this another 30 seconds to do its job. But now, the back burner, add a healthy dose of oil.
Now, why avocado oil? Why not vegetable or olive or?
Avocado oil has more health benefits. It's a lot more. It's more natural versus the processed canola or vegetable. You could certainly use it, but I
much
wouldn't
more
recommend
ethical.
it. So it's more natural, and the flavor profile is just more appealing to me. Now, another thing is that avocado
ethics
oil
are
has a
important.
higher smoke point than olive oil or, let's say, the other variety of kinds. So that's why I personally like avocado oil, especially for the steak, which we will get to very shortly. So, corn is doing the job. Perfect. Next, we're going to go ahead, add our bell peppers and our jalapenos. All right, we're just going to go ahead, get them to marry each other with the corn. So now we're cooking with meat. All right, we're mixing the Saccatach, and notice how every bell pepper is of uniform size. So the texture is going to be very similar to the corn.
So, do you ever get worried that you're going to mix up the corn and the yellow peppers?
No,
Do you ever get worried?
no. I'm cold as Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That's my chef.
That's my chef. Yes, chef.
That's chef.
Yes, chef.
All right, and right now in the background, what I'm doing is that I'm quickly gonna mince up a little bit of garlic. What this will do is, of course, add flavor. All right, so I'm just letting the bell peppers, heat up, and we're just gonna go ahead and do a quick mince of the garlic. All right, so it doesn't have to be super precise, it just has to be small enough to get into my mouth. All right, so now garlic minced into the Saccatach. This will add a hint of flavor. You can see the color. Look at the color. Look at the color.
Wow.
Wow. That color.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could smell what's through that screen, smelling good. Perfect. Next, zucchini.
Yes, chef.
These don't need that long to cook. So we're just gonna add it in. Right? Size of the zucchini is a little larger than the other veggies, and that is on purpose. Adds texture. It adds different mouthfeel, while the smaller components adds complexity. Beautiful. Beautiful. Sure. And this will allow the cauliflower to boil a little bit quicker.
You boil your cauliflower a lot?
Do I boil?
Yeah.
Purees. The difference is
Purees.
purees, you want to heat it up and get to that consistency to where you can blend it up and get it smooth. And that's what the process is right now. So
I fumbled that
zucchinis
so hard.
doing their thing. Next, we're gonna go in with just a little bit of the red onions and a little bit of the sweet jumbo onion. Oh my God, oh my God. Holy cow, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my God. Oh my God, Ian, I know you don't eat vegetables.
What do you mean?
You're big. Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. So, onions are doing their job. Next, remember the shallots?
No, I wasn't here for that.
This side of the shallots, the minced up, we're just gonna throw that in.
Oh,
We're just gonna throw that in.
looks like a sprinkle to me, but
Oh yeah.
I like
Oh,
sprinkles.
Yeah. We're just gonna add that for that mild note of acidity from the shallots. Same thing. Same thing. We're just getting everybody nice
and
and
acquainted.
Like one big happy family, right?
yeah, one big happy family. Sister-in-law, brother-in-law. Yeah. All right. Now, notice how I didn't season anything. I wanted the flavors to push into that marriage. So now, we're just gonna help it. We're just gonna go ahead, freshly ground black pepper. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And some salt. Oh my God. And we're just gonna get this all together. Oh my God. Oh my God. Now,
We
my
got right
little,
over there.
my little secret. I'm gonna lemon,
Ooh,
and we're just gonna squeeze. We're just gonna squeeze a little bit of lemon juice into the
Oh.
Saccatach. Make sure not get the seed, but look at that. Look at that. Oh my God. Oh my God, Jason, get the squirt gun. Oh my Lord, Jesus. We're just gonna go ahead.
I remember because Lindsay's episode.
Oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Get the lemon flavor in there. Now that's gonna add a really nice note of sourness. That citrus acid. That's gonna complement the sweetness from the corn. Sweetness of the onions.
So why go for lemon for the citrus flavor? What would be wrong with a lime or an orange or something?
The lemon flavor adds a more intense citrus flavor. If you were to go with a lime, it's more milder. And because of the amount of sweetness that's already in this side dish, you want something to counterbalance that. So,
and do you think these limes would make it onto Einstein?
if they don't choke,
Chris, what was a what's the word? Formative moment in your life?
when I went to GameStop,
Oh, you went to GameStop.
I went
Good
to
shit.
GameStop, yeah. That's what changed it for me. All right, so now,
One time I went to GameStop and there was an
so
employee
now
there. His name tag said Thor, but
I'm
it
just
looked
gonna
like
put
thought.
this on low, so that way
I think I've been to that same GameStop.
Saccatach, they're more or less done. I'm just gonna set this to low, so that way it keeps it warm. All right, we're just gonna keep this warm. Now, let's move on to the steak, the money shot. Steak, hand should be preheated by now. I'm setting this a little bit higher to medium high. You don't want it super high because you don't want to burn the steak. You want to cook it in good caramelization. Get a nice heavy duty pan. This is stainless steel. It's got a heavy bottom, so it's gonna retain heat better. You can also use cast iron. I wouldn't recommend non-stick, but if that's your only option, you can certainly make it work. Let's go ahead and add in our oil. Get a nice healthy glug of avocado oil. All right, let that do its job. I'm gonna turn down the heat a little bit so that way, right? And meanwhile, while that gets up to temp, I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little knob of butter and just throw that into the Saccatach. And what that does, it adds a nice velvety, rich flavor.
It looks like the Dexter Dreadbots in 2016.
That's yes, yes, yes. Let the butter do its job. I'll let that work. Turn this
That's my
down a
favorite part of the
little.
events. We get to see a fire.
Yeah.
All
yeah,
right.
It is.
Steak time, ladies and gentlemen. Steak time. What I like to do,
Here we go.
if you're not comfortable with your hands, obviously get a set of tongs that you can trust. Okay? So, tongs. What I like to do is caramelize the fat cap first. Listen to the sizzle. Listen to the sizzle. Listen to the sizzle. All right? And I just like to just kind of hold the steak on the fat cap first. That allows it to get a really crisp caramelization. Because no one likes to eat raw fat. Nobody.
I don't know about nobody, but
I mean,
Raw fat, if you do, I'm calling the popo on you. Check on the Saccatach, doing work. Great, great, great. All right, now, fat cap, golden brown. You see that? That's the level we want. All right, so now, we're gonna go ahead and sear the steak. So we're just gonna go ahead and lay the steak away from us. Away from us, so that way we don't burn ourselves. Ouch. And we're just gonna go ahead. And we're looking for a medium rare, so we're just going to go ahead and give it 2.5, 3 minutes. 2-inch steak. And you just kind of want to give it a nice, light press on the steak here to make sure the entire surface of the steak gets contact. If you're not comfortable with the hand technique that I'm doing, that's okay. You just kind of use your tongs here as well.
are you comfortable with his hand technique?
Now, gentlemen, how do you like your steak as well?
What do you think? What do you think?
There's only one right answer.
I think
Medium rare.
medium rare. Yeah. If it's not medium rare, it's
It's
you know.
it's might as well be well done. So
All right. And the last thing you ever want to do with a steak is keep it moving. You want to just let the pan do the work for you. Let it work.
So Chef Bong, we still have this rosemary and parsley and garlic over here. What's
yeah.
that for?
That is what we're going to do, a secret thing called butter basting. Oh. There's going to be a lot of smoke. We're inside, so be prepared to turn on your overhead fan, the windows, whatever you need to do. Check on the steak real quick. Oh my God.
Oh.
Look at, ladies and gentlemen, look at that steak. That's the color you want.
Ooh.
That's the color. So now, we'll just go ahead, carefully lay down the other side. That's what we want. That's the sound we like. Same thing on the other side. Contact of the heat all over the steak. Now, for a medium rare, you want to pull the steak out at 135 degrees. That's the sweet spot for mid-rare steaks. All right? Now, leave it alone. Do not touch it. Don't touch it! Okay. Saccatach is done. Just going to keep it warm for us to eat. Cauliflower is still doing some great work. Give it about another minute and a half. Now you can kind of also, if you're an expert enough, you can obviously feel the steak to see if it's up to temp as well. I have enough experience to where I can just kind of gauge it based on its feel.
Yeah, he
but
does.
if you're not comfortable, use a meat thermometer. And kind of make sure oil gets nice up in there. And oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, that's a crust. That's a crust, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna go ahead.
That's not a crust. That's Patrick.
What my master told me.
Make sure, get one last final. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Make sure every side gets that last bit of love there. Make sure the fat cap. And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm kind of using the edge of the pan as well to help stabilize the fat cap. I'm tilting the pan so that all that oil really gets up in that fat cap. Make sure it really caramelizes. Oh my God. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and set the steak to the side here and let that rest. You wanna lock in the juices,
That
not
looks
have it all bleed
insane.
out. But we're not fully done yet with the steak. What I'm
I
gonna
don't know why
ahead and
he put it
do
over here. It might not make it back to the pan.
is dump out all that extra oil because that's done its job now.
Is it job done?
So now,
I don't think so.
see that color in the pan right here? All that, see that? That's flavor. Don't waste that. Do not waste it.
Yes,
Now-
chef.
MSG was flavor.
MSG is good for me too. Yes. Now what I'm going to go ahead and do is all that extra flavor, I'm going to go ahead and dump a thing of butter on it. Turn down the heat to lowish, low-high, and let the butter do the work. You want to let it melt and get that golden brown. You don't want to burn the butter. You want to get it nice and golden brown. What we're doing is getting the milk solids to brown up of the butter.
Now, Chris, if the pan was too, is it the temperature of the pan that affects the butter burning?
Yes. If it's too hot, it'll just become black. It will burn the butter. You don't want to burn the butter, okay? You just want to let it do its work, all right? So now we're going to go ahead and add in some garlic and let that fuse into the butter here. You just want to let it do its work. And we're using the retaining heat of the pan to do the work for us. Now, next, here comes the money shot.
Ooh, what's that?
That's rosemary.
Where'd you get it?
Rosemary add from the Ian's, fresh from the garden. This is fresh from the
Okay.
garden, not from the store.
Yes,
not from
chef.
the store. Not from the store. Rosemary adds a nice, rich herb flavor. It adds that sense of umami to it, right? From the rosemary. So we're just gonna add in a couple of. That should be.
You know, I heard Ross from Friends had ugami.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And
I thought that was the thing you do with the paper, where you fold it.
I'm a little crazy. You may not see this everywhere else, but I like to add. Oh, the milk is doing its job.
What technique is that called?
A little bit of parsley. Jason,
Okay, interesting
I
name.
love you.
Oh, the little bit of parsley technique has a nice aroma to it.
Yeah,
it reminds
and that
me of
adds
American
some
high
herb
school.
flavor, and all the bottom of this pan. Just scrape that up, and really let everything come to fruition. A little bit of shallots as well, a little bit.
Remember to get your fruition shot.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen. Now, as everything is going up to Flavor Town, not trademark by the way.
Oh, where's Scott?
Not, to be clear, that is free use.
Now, come back with the steak. Place it back into the pan. And now, for about a minute,
fair cloth.
That's the best way to
I'm
do
going
it.
to put the herbs on top of the steak. Push the steak towards the edge of the pan and just scoop up all of that butter. All that butter goodness. We're going to baste the steak. You're going to baste the steak. Ladies and gentlemen. Guys, what am I doing?
Basting the steak.
We're basting the steak. Basting the
Yes,
meat.
chef.
Yes, chef.
And we're only doing this for about a minute and a half.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef. Why only for that long?
Because you don't want to overcook the steak. The steak is already up just under temp, so you're just adding that level of flavor. Just
Now, why didn't we do this from the start? Why are we doing it after?
If you do it after, then you ruin the integrity of the crust. The crust is so crucial. So we develop the crust first, and then we add flavor. So same thing, other side, minute and a half. Baste the steak, baste, and you can see the butter, how it's foaming.
It's pretty based. Yeah.
The heat from the butter will transfer to the steak, and all those milk solids will just get absolutely stuck onto this meat here. So now we're gonna go ahead and set the steak to rest. Oh my God! Look at this! Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, all those herbs.
Slog. That is insane looking.
We're not going to waste. No.
No.
We're going to go ahead and just look at this.
There's no way. Oh my God.
Nothing's going to waste. Nothing's going to waste. Let that sink in. Oh my God. Now, the most crucial part.
This is almost as good as Panda Express orange chicken.
Crucial part. Oh my God. You let the steak rest because you're locking in the flavor. You're locking in the juices. So we're just leave it alone. 10, 15 minutes, leave it alone. Oh my gosh. Oh my God. Oh, this juice here. Oh my God. Beautiful. So now,
I think you're beautiful, Jason.
remember how there's also some other stuff we added to the pan as well? This is going to be the base of our sauce here. So the base of the sauce is going to be absolutely beautiful. So what I have here is red wine. The red wine is going to reduce down to its syrup flavor. And oh my God, just take a look. Make sure there's some nice heat. Put it on medium heat. And then there's still a lot of heat retaining in this pan. So make sure we're just gonna go ahead, add a nice about a half bottle of this Kirkland. Nice flavor. That's a nice grape natural flavor. So what we're gonna head and do is we're just gonna go ahead and reduce all this down. Nothing going to waste.
So, Chef Chris, if I'm under the age of 21, am I allowed to have this reduction sauce?
You can. Now, you're not supposed to drink it straight from the bottle. No. The way that you can utilize the red wine is that we're burning off the alcohol. The high heat is going to evaporate, leaving us just the syrup, the flavor of the wine itself. So if you are underage, make sure that all the alcohol gets burned off before consuming it. Of course, if you're not comfortable with the wine itself, you're more than welcome to just use beef stock.
What about grape juice?
Grape juice works.
Is it really?
Really?
Sometimes well, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Absolutely.
Cool.
It's not going to be that depth of flavor you're going to have, but it's going to, let that wine reduce, and you will know when it's reduced based on a technique I'll show you. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead with the oil that's in the back. We're just going to go ahead and fry some shallots. And this is a really fast process. You're just looking for good color.
That's all life really ever is.
You want some good color on the shallots. You want to have it golden brown. Cauliflower should be fork tender. Oh, look at that steam. Look at the steam.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I can barely.
You said you used the parsley method on that, right?
Yes.
Would you consider yourself steam powered?
Oh my God, no way. No steam power in this country.
No,
Fork tender.
That's too cool
so
for
if
us.
it's easy to poke with your knife or fork, cauliflower is done. What we're going ahead and do is now the puree. Let Let that wine reduce. Let that wine reduce. And make sure as the wine is reducing, you're scraping the bottom off of the pan. You're scraping. So that way it releases all of that flavor right into the pan. Because whatever you leave in this pan will not go into your mouth. And we want it to be in our mouth. Oh my God. Oh my God. Take a look. Take a look. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. It's not quite there. Not quite there. But okay. So now we're going to go ahead and utilize our blender. Our blender here. So now, go ahead. Take your cauliflower. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Take your cauliflower. And then remove the lid. Ooh. And now, take.
Chris, you're getting that vegetable fairly close to me.
That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Take your strainer.
Oh, so we want to leave the milk behind.
You don't want too much milk. You don't want too much. That's why we use the strainer method first. So we'll just go ahead, place the cauliflower. Place the cauliflower into the bucket. Into
the buckets.
Into the blender here. Into the blender. All right. And we don't want too much milk, but you just want a little bit. Just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and pour a good amount. We just want a good amount. That's
Just
it.
a little bit of.
That's it. Now, we're going to continue with our butter theme. Take about a teaspoon and a half. Place it in. You want to add a level of fat into your purees to get that velvety, rich flavor. Maybe a little bit more knob of butter. Maybe a little more. From here, a bit more salt. A little bit more salt.
Sodium.
Good for you.
Cholesterol. Pepper.
We're gonna add MSG to this.
Maybe. Maybe.
MSG is good
So
for
now,
it.
go ahead and put the blender in, and we'll go ahead and start it. Yeah, while that starts, does its thing. Oh my God, look at the wine, look at the wine. Oh yeah, Shallots is almost there, almost there. Smelling wonderful, wunderbar. Okay. Now this red wine reduction is almost done based on what I'm doing here. What I'm doing is I'm pulling my spatula and see how the wine is not instantly flowing in, not
Chef.
covering the entire pan?
Yes, chef.
That's about the consistency we want. We kind of want
It's back.
it to be a syrup. So, just gonna give it about a minute and a half.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. We're gonna go ahead and turn on this blender here.
Is that,
Oh my
is that in
goodness.
Polish?
Oh my goodness! Look at this! Look at this! Look at this! All right. Wine has done its job. Blender is going. Oh. Blender is going. We'll go ahead and.
What's your opinion on food processors? What brand is your brand?
I like KitchenAid.
KitchenAid.
KitchenAid is a nice, solid choice.
They help you in
Okay.
the kitchen.
From there. See how now the wine is now a syrup?
Yep.
That's what we want. That's what. Now, we're going to add our liquid. We're going to add our beef stock. Beef stock will help make it to a more cohesive sauce. So go ahead and just pour in your... Go ahead. And now, same thing. We'll let it reduce. Let it marry with its family. We'll let the wine and the beef stock do its thing. Let it become its sauce. Blend up everything for this puree. Everything.
You mean just the cauliflower and milk?
And the butter.
Oh, yeah. You know, I used to watch a Minecraft YouTuber who talked about butter.
Yes, sir! Oh my god. Oh my god.
Did it work?
Oh, God.
Check on... Oh my god, look at that. But we're gonna do a secret technique to this very shortly here. Oh my god. Oh my god. Smells wonderful. Smells wonderful. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Still not quite a sauce yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're there. We are there.
So for that wine reduction, is it just beef broth and wine you're going to have in there, or are we going to add anything else?
We're gonna add some more elements. We're gonna make it rich. We're gonna make it flavorful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Nate, what does this smell like to you?
The steak smells very good.
It smells phenomenal.
It reminds me of last time Chris made a steak.
It reminds me of the Livonia volunteer food, because that's just
Oh.
how good it was.
Yeah, Lily did a good job with it. Was she on this podcast before?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was there.
So now, what
good
we're gonna
episode.
Yeah.
this new technique here to show to get the ultra smooth puree. We're
How
gonna
does
take
that
a.
cauliflower smell?
We're gonna go ahead and
That smells like nothing.
kind of shove it through our slotted spoon here, and we're just
Been
gonna get
there.
that smoother consistency. We're just gonna go ahead and just push that in, push it in. Collect it from the bottom. We're just gonna force it to be a more smoother consistency.
So if not enough's going through, do you need to blend it more, or?
No, this is a longer process than it is. Now, you don't have to do this, of course, but for presentation's sake, a lot of restaurants, a lot of higher-end restaurants will utilize this technique in order for the presentation to look a little better. Gents, what's the fanciest place you've ever eaten at?
Ooh, go ahead.
Well,
Was
I'm
it-
probably going to take your answer.
Oh, I was gonna say Livonia volunteer room.
I was going to say Burger King.
Burger King. Oh, okay. Actually, I've been to this one place in DC called Rooster and Owl. It's a Michelin star restaurant. Don't know how many stars. Pretty good. That was a good one-time experience.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever been anywhere that fancy. I'll say at this Brazilian steakhouse, Fogo de Chao. They walk around with meat on sticks. They just walk up to you and cut it off the stick.
Yeah.
Okay, now, season the sauce, add the garlic, add the rosemary, add your extra onions. Like I said, we're just adding in flavor. We're adding in flavor. Oh yeah. Oh yes, yes, yes.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Now, shallots are done. Shallots are beautifully golden brown. Okay. Oh my god. And look at the sauce. Look at the sauce. Look at the sauce. Nice consistency. Beautiful consistency. All right, sauce is done. Sauce is done. We're ready to plate. We're ready to plate. Grab your most clean white plate possible.
Why can't it be cream colored?
You can use cream color, but it's not going to be aesthetically as pleasing. So, get your plate. First thing we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead, plate up our cauliflower. What we're gonna go ahead and do, go ahead and put that right into the center here. And we're just gonna make a little, let's go ahead. Nothing too much.
Look at that technique.
Nothing too much. Nothing too much.
Reminds
Steak.
me of the Belleville Yacht Club.
Probably Yacht
Steak.
Yeah.
Moment of truth. Is it medium rare?
Watch this.
Oh.
Oh, dog.
Look at
Oh,
that.
dog.
Look at that. That's medium rare. That's medium rare right there. Ladies and gentlemen, medium rare.
That look
Oh
is
my
insane. Oh my god.
Ooh.
Oh my lord. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. And just kind of, we're just going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and do this. Right, ladies and gentlemen.
No way. Holy.
We're just going to go ahead and just
Oh. Look at that.
make sure everybody gets a little love. Little love. Next up, a little bit of golden brown. It's golden brown shallots here. And we're just going to go ahead and top that off
So gentle.
right on top of the steak. Right on top. And from there,
Like a
from
bunny
there,
perching on the hillside.
from there, Saccatach.
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 Saccatach. We're just going to go ahead. Put it right next to the
You see all those colors. One happy family.
one happy family. Ladies and gentlemen, going right in, right in.
Oh, those are some vegetables I'd like to eat. What about you?
No. Vegetables aren't good for you.
But salt is.
And then from there, get your wine. Get your wine.
Oh, now here's
Reduction
gonna be the money
sauce.
shot.
Get your wine reduction. This is what we worked so hard for, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. We're just gonna go ahead. Take the sauce. Take the sauce. Drizzle that all over. Look at that. We're just gonna go ahead. A nice dollop around the side here. All right. Final touch. Final touch. Take your bit of parsley. Take your bit of parsley. Adds a nice level of freshness to the steak. Just kind of scatter that around. A little bit on top. A little bit more on top of the Saccatach. Okay. Oh wow. Wow. And that. Take your towel here.
He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do the thing.
Clean off your plate. Clean off your plate. Ian, I will find you in your sleep. Clean off your plate. Make sure it looks presentable. Make sure it looks
This is
presentable.
beautiful.
You know, when I worked at my parents' restaurant, we didn't have to clean off the plate after. We had it
Well,
perfect to
that's
start.
why it's closed. That's why it's closed. And ladies and gentlemen, there's my take of steak with Saccatach, cauliflower puree, and red wine reduction sauce.
Yes,
Chef.
chef.
Gentlemen, what I have presented here for you today is a beautiful medium rare pan-seared New York strip topped with golden shallots on the bottom of a cauliflower puree with a red wine beef reduction sauce topped with a Saccatach side.
Wonderful.
Thank you,
Beautiful
chef.
presentation. After you.
Too kind. Steak right there. It's like cutting butter.
I can really taste the umami flavor from the what ingredient?
The umami comes from that rosemary and that parsley, that little natural herb flavor.
Wonderful. Let's dig into this Saccatach. Beautiful, smoky flavor. You can really taste the way the butter marries all the ingredients together. And the salt, perfect. Nothing I would do differently.
It's just, it all blends into one beautiful family of flavors.
A beautiful family of flavors. This puree here.
More of the stack attack. I mean, stash attack.
Wonderful, Chris. Unfortunately, Chef Chris, you will not be moving on to the next round. You are eliminated. Thank you for coming.
Maybe on the next episode of Cooking with Chris, we'll get it right.
Maybe. Thank you for joining. This has been Pit Podcast Cooking with Chris. We hope you enjoyed what we presented for you here today. We know we have. We'll see you next time.